This is episode 357 of Jumblethink.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Jumblethink, where we interview dreamers, makers, innovators, and influencers all about their journey of turning dreams and ideas into reality. Along the way, we're going to share some tips on how you can turn your own dreams and ideas into reality too. Our guests on today's show are Tommy Ragen and Gianna Harris. More about them in a moment. Whether you're a new listener or a longtime fan, if you've never subscribed to Jumblethink, now's the time to do it. Head on over to wherever you listen to podcasts, search for Jumblethink, and click subscribe. To make it even easier, if you head on over to jumblethink.com, you'll find links to places like Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, and more. So go subscribe to the show now. Now let's join today's conversation. Hey there, friends. Welcome to Jumblethink. My name is Michael Woodward. I am your host. We have a really cool conversation lined up for you today. We are talking to two of the stars from a brand new movie called Mighty Oak. We're talking to Tommy Ragen and Gianna Harris. They also happen to be the youngest guests ever on Jumblethink. Now, Tommy plays the lead character in this movie. His character's name is Oak, and he is, beyond that, a musical prodigy, starting out his career at the age of 9 on the Broadway national tour for School of Rock. He's gone on to release 3 studio albums, and many of his songs are used in the soundtrack for this movie. We also have Gianna Harris joining us for the conversation today. She plays the character Emma in Mighty Oak. She is a singer, a stage and screen actress, and she is best known for her work in Andrew Lloyd Webber's Broadway and touring productions of School of Rock the Musical. She has nearly 800 performances in that production, but beyond that, she's also worked on Working in the Theater, I Have a Voice, Sesame Street, The O'Clocks, Good Morning America, and a bunch of other stuff. It's a really fun conversation, so let's go ahead and join the conversation we had with Tommy and Gianna about their brand new movie, Mighty Oak. Our guests today are Tommy Ragen and Gianna Harris. Welcome to Jumblethink.
Hi.
Hello.
Thank you for having us.
I have to say, you are probably two of the youngest guests we've ever had over 350 episodes. We've talked to a lot of people, and it's exciting to get to talk to people who have, at such a young age, figured out that they have passions in their lives, and that your lives are things that you can create and not just kind of fly by and see what happens. You're actually creating the journey you want to create. And how cool is that?
I feel like we're both like so lucky because we're both creative, like we both all want to create, but also like I feel like the opportunities that I got, like I wouldn't be here without the opportunities, because like if I didn't have a supportive family, like I wouldn't, I could still have, like whatever, like natural talent, but like without supportive people in my life, like I would never be here.
Yeah, I agree with that. You have to have, it's not just, creating your path, because that it is hard, but having amazing people around you definitely helps.
Now, I have to say, I've, again, done a lot of interviews, and this is the first time that I've ever had all of the guests on the show have a guitar behind them. So you have guitars, I have guitars, we all have guitars.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things that surprised me the most. So many people who act, they're actors first and musicians second, but you're both just so massively talented in what you do. So Gianna, I want to start with you. Tell us, you didn't start out as like music being your passion. You started as a gymnast, did quite well, competed at a very high level, and then somewhere along the line, you go on this journey to say, you know what, maybe music's my passion, maybe singing, maybe playing. And you play, according to IMDb, guitar, piano, cello, bass, ukulele, and probably things that aren't listed. So talk to us about your journey into finding this as something, an outlet for you.
I was a gymnast for 5 years, like you said, a competitive gymnast. So those things are not related at all. So, it consumed my life. Like those years of me doing gymnastics, I don't remember anything but gymnastics for those years.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was just kind of my everything. And, as I started to grow up, I saw, people performing and people singing and like watching Disney Channel shows. And when I was little, like tiny little baby, there were a lot of shows about like dancing and singing and performing. So I got to see that on television and I was like, wait, that's kind of cool. I want to try it. And I like begged my parents for vocal lessons. And, I started off with like singing competitions. And then I started auditioning for Broadway. And then I got an agent and I booked School of Rock. And then it all kind of just falls into place of me getting all the way to here.
Now, you mentioned there that, like, with gymnastics, you feel like it was all-encompassing, and that's all you remember from that season of your life. Do you feel like this acting, because Broadway and then touring with Broadway is not a lightweight thing, that is very inclusive into all of your life, and especially when, as a kid, I mean, you still have to do school, you still have to learn. So for you, did you feel like it was a reprieve from kind of the level of complexity for that, or did you feel like it was a release?
Definitely. It does give you more freedom because gymnastics is very like cut and dry. This is what you have to do, and this is how you have to look. And you could always add your own like flair to stuff, but it's like this is what you have to do. They give you pages of like, this is what you should look like.
Wow.
But with music, you can kind of just create your own. You can do different styles. Like it gives you more freedom. And I think Tommy will say that with like anything. Music is one of the most freeing things ever in acting and performing.
Yeah. And Tommy, you of course play in the movie. I was shocked to find that you wrote a bunch of the scoring for the movie. Too, which is incredible. I then went on to YouTube and I just saw the depth of your playing. I saw you playing some like crazy blues riffs, and then this 10-minute challenge where you craft like an original piece in 10 minutes, and just that creative process of firing through that. So for you, how did that journey of music come to be? Because you're what, 11, 12?
I'm 12.
To be that crazy gifted at such a young age, how did you have to start young, I would assume. How did that all unfold for you?
Yeah, so I mean, music has always pretty much been a part of my family. My dad doesn't play. My mom never my mom's really naturally talented, but it wasn't like never something that she like really went deep into. And I was at a Taylor Swift concert, which by the way, I love Taylor Swift. Like any boys who say Taylor Swift isn't good, dude, Taylor Swift is the best. And like I was okay, so we were sitting next to these people, and this guy, he was like 14 at the time, Cody Lovas, who was a musician who I saw. I was like, wow, this guy's super great, and I want to play guitar like him. I want to sing like him. And so then, I started taking guitar lessons, and then obviously like I went on my own path and stuff. Like when I say I want to sing like him, I just mean like I want to also be a singer and also be a guitarist. But that's pretty much how, and then from there, just like it was pretty straightforward. Like everything unfolded from there. I just had really supportive parents, and it was like, yeah.
I want to hear from both of you. Of course, Mighty Oak. How did that all come to be for each of you? Tommy, why don't we start with you?
Yeah. So like, it's always like I always like have had the music pretty much like be like I've always had my music be in it, and I've always like kind of been a part of Mighty Oak. And like it's really hard to explain, but like I guess like my dad had like made a movie before, and I think that like the writers that he knew and everything, they like he recommended me to them. Like I don't really know how to explain it because I don't even know too much about like how I even like got involved in this movie. But like I guess from there, then they just saw my music and they really liked it, and then I auditioned for it and they liked my acting, so I got the part. And I guess that's like the way that I can put it, but I don't. It's like a really long story, I guess.
So it sounds like it was a whole bunch of things that just kind of fell into place, and the opportunity opened itself.
It definitely is like something that's like very. It's not like I said, like how my like after those guitar lessons, it was straightforward. Like that wasn't straightforward at all. It was like super, like that whole thing was just like somehow I just fell into that role, I guess.
How about for you, Gianna? How did you come to be a part of this ensemble, this team? There are a lot of crazy people. We had Ben Milliken on. Of course, we mentioned Rodney Hicks. So for you, how did you become part of this team?
So I got the audition for Mighty Oak to play Emma Biggs. Just like any other audition, I got the material. And, I was memorizing everything, trying to figure out this character. And I was like, this character is like kind of like me. And I feel like it fit me very well.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, this seems like a lot of fun. And we did the self-tape. And it was really easy. I feel like the easiest auditions I've done were the ones that I've booked. So it was really, really easy for me to get this character. And a couple days later, we get a call from Frank, Tommy's dad.
Okay.
And we had no clue that they were part of this project. And we're like, oh, I guess they're just calling to say hello or something. We were like, I wonder why they're calling.
Yeah.
So we answer, we're like, hey, how are you guys? And he's like, hey, so you just auditioned for this thing that we're doing, this movie, and we want you to play Emma Biggs. And it was just really special because it was from Tommy and his family telling me. And, me and Tommy have known each other for a while, so getting to work with him again was just so amazing.
Yeah. How did you guys meet?
We were on the School of Rock national tour. And yeah. So Gianna had been on School of Rock before, like the actual, like the Broadway one, not the tour one. And then she also went on the tour, and then I just auditioned for it. And that's pretty much like how we first met.
For you, Tommy, you're playing Oak, so kind of the title character of this whole thing. At such a young age and being so at the front of this movie, how have you been able to, and I know for Gianna, you've wrestled with anxiety and those items too, like that kind of pressure. How were you able to keep your cool and just, you perform so well and you come in and you're very professional. Everyone speaks highly of you. How did you just keep that so that you could perform at such a high level?
I definitely don't really keep my cool around my family. But like there's something that clicks when I'm around other people that aren't my family, and I'm just automatically like, I'm much more like together, like as a human being, like I feel like much more put together and like stable. And I'm just like, hello, but with my family, I just, wouldn't be that way. I mean, I'd still be nice, but just like I'm not as put together as a human being.
I mentioned there, Gianna, that Rodney was just telling me that you have been very vocal about anxiety and how it's impacted your life. So talk to us a little bit about that, because I've never been in either of your shoes. I've never been in a place where I'm expected to perform like you are. And so there's a lot of pressure at a very young age that I don't think the average person in their teens would ever even think about. So talk to us about your journey of that.
Yeah, when I was 9, my mom was pregnant with my little brother, and she had preeclampsia, which is very dangerous, and she could have passed away. So it gave me really bad separation anxiety. And it started when she had my little brother, and she started to like go back to work. And she was healthy when she had my little brother. She was healthy. She was fine. But when she started to go back to work and she wasn't home all the time, I developed really bad separation anxiety. And I couldn't be away from my family. It was like, it destroyed my life. I couldn't go to school. I couldn't hang out with friends because I just have this burning anxiety. Like, it would be so bad. I'd feel sick and I wouldn't eat. It would make my stomach hurt. So going through it at a young age, too. I was only 9 and 10 when it was at its worst. So going through that at a young age, you don't really understand what is going on. You just know that you don't want to be away from your mom and your dad. Yeah. So it was a really big struggle, but that's around when I started to do music. So music really helped me with my anxiety and helped me soothe it. And when I did School of Rock, I met these amazing friends that understand that I have these issues, and they would help me with them when they could see it. And they'd see like, oh, she's clearly having an anxiety attack. Let me distract her.
Yeah.
So they'd help me with all that stuff. But music has definitely been like my number one coping mechanism.
I know that there are going to be some people listening to this who might be struggling, and I know everyone's journey with this is vastly different. What would you want to tell them in that journey, maybe to encourage them or give them some words that might help them? What would you want to tell them?
It may feel like it's terrible now and that it's going to be forever and this is how your life is going to be, but it's not going to. There is light at the end of the tunnel, and you just have to take a deep breath and keep walking. You got to keep going. You got to keep pushing. And there are going to be really, really hard days, hard weeks, months. They're going to be so hard. But you just got to keep going. You got to keep pushing.
You know, Tommy, I see your guitars behind you, and I love gear. I'm a gear guy. I love different kinds of guitars and all of that. But it comes back to playing. You can have the worst guitar and still play incredibly. You could have the best guitar and not know how to play. What inspires, or who inspires you as a musician?
I definitely say not the type of people that you would think would. And like, I probably like, people are expecting me to say like the Rolling Stones and stuff. But it's like, probably like, okay, I'll like just name a few, like Juice WRLD, like Lil TJ, Mac Miller. There's some, I don't really want to name everyone because some of them have like controversial pasts, but like those are like, that genre is what inspires me. And then I'll be like writing like band music, but then I'll be like rap that's inspiring me. And it's like, I definitely like to like incorporate rap and everything because that's kind of what keeps me motivated. Because like, although like I'm a musician, I'm like a hip hop like fan. Like I'm not like as much of a hip hop. I like love listening to hip hop, and that's pretty much what keeps me motivated all the time to like keep writing music.
How about for you, Gianna? Who inspires you as a musician?
A lot of people, a lot of R&B artists. What kind of was the start was Whitney Houston, Jennifer Hudson. Currently, I'm in love with Pink Sweats, Billie Eilish.
You did a cover of Billie. It's on YouTube, I think, or on your website.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. James Tillman, such amazing music. I'm not as influenced with like rap as Tommy, but I do occasionally listen to rap.
All right, let's circle back to this movie because that's why we're here to talk, of course. What do you want people to get out of this movie? What's the story? I know that people who are involved with this project have really loved this project and the story and what it communicates. But for you each, Tommy, for you, what do you want people to take away from this?
Yeah, so I want people to take away that like Gina was like there for 10 years to like find the hope, and just there's always hope, like just like with Gianna's anxiety, like there's always like the end, like there's always, you know, gonna be like a good part, and there's always gonna be light. And that's just, you know, I think the movie for people that are going through like a hard time is to like really like just have hope and just keep going and just be positive. Know that there are people who love you and people who will always be there, even if you think that they're not.
How about you, Gianna?
I think there are a lot of great messages within this film. There's not just one. It's like a choose your own path book or like show where you can kind of just take away which parts you want that you resonate with the most. You know, there's dealing with mental health, and like I said, there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. And Gina, it took her 10 years to get over everything that happened to her, and that's okay. You know what I mean? So it takes time, and sometimes it does take someone special to do that too. You know, your chosen family, there's always that, and knowing the right people and who are really there for you. Yeah, I think the biggest messages for me are the mental health, and that it'll always get better, and finding your chosen family.
I'm curious, is there a story from from filming that you just love telling or would want to tell from your experience? Maybe the behind the scenes peek of what went on.
Maybe, okay, I think there's so many, but like, okay, I think one that I always tell people is that Janelle and Carlos pranked me with a spider, and I got scared out of my mind. Like, I was like, I mean, I didn't really show it that much, but they could see in my mind, I was like sweating inside of my mind. Like, I was so scared. And then I took a picture of it, and then I posted it on my Instagram. Just, I just, that's the best way to deal with embarrassment. Just post it on Instagram. Be like, yep. And that's probably the best story from my DX.
How about you, Gianna?
Mine was with Tommy. There's a really small flash scene within the movie, and I'm piercing Oak's ear. And we were in this tiny, tiny bathroom, and then it was like me pretending to pierce his ear, and like the needle was dulled down and there was like fake blood, but I was so scared that I was going to hurt Tommy, and I was like kind of grossed out because like it looked real. So I was like kind of grossed out at the same time. But it was so fun, and it was so fun to film. We got to do it like a bunch of times, and it was like funny, and I get to like slam the door shut. But it was,
yeah, that was so fun, but also kind of gross. Yeah.
You're both done so much at a young age, and you've both crafted, and you know the space of music. We're always getting better as musicians. We never quite arrive. There's a new style, a new understanding of music that we can always arrive upon. So what is it that you would love to see accomplished over your life? What would you like to, if you're 100 and you're looking back, what would be the story of your life that you'd want to paint?
I would like to be like one of those people that's like 100, and like all my advice is just don't worry about the little things. I just want to be one of those people. But okay, now the actual thing. I mean, but that's probably the best advice you can possibly give. I don't know why I'm making fun of it, but like I think I would like to, have a family and be able to support my family without having to worry. And that's pretty much what I define success as, just like being able to, and then also being able to have a happy life, just having kids who are just great kids, or not like, I mean, like I can raise great kids and like just be like a good enough person to be able to raise good kids. Like, it's not to like be the biggest musician in the world, like to be the most successful. I just want to be able to like have a good life, because I find like even if I had so much success, that doesn't mean for sure that I'm going to be happy. Even though obviously success would be great, but I'm saying like my goal is to be able to, have a great life.
Well, and I think that so many people look at success as big money, big house, all of the fame in the world, and yet the success that you're talking about is a much deeper success. It's a success of legacy, having a family, building a family, all of that. So there's for you to say that shows a lot of maturity and wisdom. I think a lot of people are searching for that answer. And so thanks for sharing that.
No problem.
How about you, Gianna?
You were talking about success, and I do think that I don't think there's ever a definite definition of success.
Yeah.
Success could be whatever you want it to be. So, I am still trying to figure out what exactly I do want, but I definitely want to be, helpful to other people always, to my friends, to my family. I want to be able to provide for my family. One of my biggest goals is to buy my parents a house somewhere. And that's always one thing that I'm always like, I want to buy you guys a house. And it's not like lucky we did not come from a struggle, but I still want to be able to do that for them because they've done so much for me. And, I'd love to, help. I have two brothers, to help my two brothers. Just my family and my friends are my everything. So as long as that I can always provide for them, and then the family I will build in the future, that I could provide for them too. And as far as legacy, I just want people to always say that I was caring and kind and cared about other people, and all I ever wanted was to be a voice for the unheard and be a face for the unseen.
Super cool. As we move towards the end of the conversation today, how can people find and connect with you? What are the best ways that you like to connect with people?
It's at Tommy Ragen. Ragen is spelled Ragen.
You guys can find me on Instagram and Facebook. If you guys want to get in contact with me, Instagram is the best. My parents run my Facebook. I don't know too much about Facebook, but you can find me on Instagram and Facebook at the Gianna Harris. So it's the and then GIANNAHARRIS.
Super cool. We'll be right back with rapid fire questions. There is a lot going on here at Jumblethink, and we want to make sure that you don't miss a thing. So how do you stay in touch? Head on over to jumblethink.com where you can sign up for our email newsletter, or go check us out on your favorite social media channel like Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter. That way you never miss a thing and you stay up to date with everything happening at Jumblethink. Now let's return to today's conversation.
Levez seulement le bras pour mettre l'aiguille sur le disque. Mettez le contact. Reposez votre bras.
We always do rapid fire questions, and I don't think some of the rapid fire questions are really fair to you guys. So we're going to change it up a little bit today. Is that okay?
Yeah, sure.
All right. This is a question we always ask. How do you personally find purpose in what you do?
I find purpose by helping people and making them happy through my music and art.
I'm the same way, helping people and hoping that either I can tell their story through a film or that me telling my story through music will help them with theirs.
I usually ask the following question. As a child, what did you want to be when you grew up? You're both very young still, so we're going to change this, and we're going to flip it upside down. There has always been, and I remember when I was your age, you think of your parents, you think of maybe it's politicians, maybe it's whatever, and you always go, oh, they don't understand me. So what would be one thing you wish that an older generation would know about your generation?
I wish that older generations would know that kids, it's just a different time now, and you just have to hear kids out, because just, especially things like video games, because that's how kids communicate nowadays, through video games. And they'll, older parents just have to see, there's a bunch of TikToks about this. But as a parent, if you want to learn how to treat your kids better because it's this generation, that's really all I would want to tell people who are a little bit older to know.
Maybe I'm a little biased, but I think our generation is the most woke about everything that's going on right now. And I always say this, so as a parent, they're 30 and their child is 12, right? They've told them everything they know as a 30-year-old to their 12-year-old. Now that 12-year-old knows more than you because you learned all of that in your 30 years, but they learned all of that in their 12 years, and they're still going to learn more. So the generations that get passed down will know more because you've already told them all of the knowledge that you know at a younger age.
Now, we do always ask this question. What is one tip you'd give someone with a big idea or dream and they don't know where to start? Obviously, you both have had big dreams and you're going and creating them. Maybe you haven't arrived where you wanted to be yet, but you're on that journey, which is more than a lot of, 12 or 15 or even 20-year-olds are doing right now. So what would be the tip you'd give someone who has a dream and an idea and they don't know where to start?
I think what I would say is that you're gonna fail. Well, there's a very small chance that you're not gonna fail the first time, and you literally just keep going, and people are gonna be not supportive. People are gonna try to bring you down, but just here's my philosophy, which I actually learned from Rick and Morty, which is it's a bad philosophy, but if you really think about it, in some situations, it's a good philosophy. So just don't care at all. Just if let's say my parents are incredible, but let's say someone has not very good parents who are constantly yelling at them, just pretend like you're just like, I don't care. Just like, I mean, obviously it won't help 100%, but it definitely will get you through there. And then just stay on your own path. Don't listen to other people who are trying to bring you down.
Yeah, this business is so hard. This is definitely one of the hardest businesses to work in because there are so many people that are going to try to knock you down. You have to have thick skin. You have to. I feel like that's kind of like the requirements to like be in this business is like to have thick skin. So you have to remember that people just because they may have more success than you or they have done more than you doesn't automatically make them right. What you think is good for you is good for you. So, you have to work on your craft. Always practice, get your 1,000 hours in, but always remember like who you are and what you want to do, and don't let other people knock you off of your path.
What's one change you'd like to see in the world?
I would like to see people not be as ignorant and not, and just listen, because with everything going on right now, older people, like, they think they know what being racist means. They think racist means thinking someone's better because of their skin color. Yes, that is racism. But there's so many other little things that are just prejudiced, that are racist, that I just would like to see people really think about it and just learn and listen. Because, like, a few kids that I know, just it's just so weird, like, listening to what they're saying. Like, I'm literally losing brain cells, and you just need to like learn. You need to, luckily I'm surrounded by incredible people. My parents are awesome. My friends that I play music with who are a little bit older than me, they're very like, I guess like woke. They like know, they're teaching me very good like stuff. And that's pretty much all I would want to change in the world. Well, not all I would want, but the biggest thing right now.
Yeah, I agree with Tommy. Equality. There's so much going on right now, and you really see the divide. Like right now, the divide is so clear, and I think we need to teach people, we need to educate them. And what Tommy was saying, people don't know that sometimes that they are being racist with like microaggressions and stuff like that. So you have to educate people. And the people educating us right now don't always want the best. So we have to educate as many people as we can. And, I'm 15 and I have to have discussions with my other 15-year-old friends about things that they're saying that might be racist. And I shouldn't have to do that.
Yeah, I feel the exact same way. Like, yeah.
And adults. Like, I have to talk about with this adults too, that what they're saying may be racist.
Yeah. Adults even more because they don't know. Because maybe when my parents were kids, what they would say now that would be racist wouldn't be racist back then, or like wouldn't be considered racist. Like, and that's why like my 12-year-old friends, like, I don't know, it's probably even more for 12-year-olds because they're even like less, they know even less about this stuff. It's just like, you just need to like listen. You can have an opinion, but you just really need to listen, open up, because if you're saying that all lives matter, then you really need to just open your ear, like literally listen, stop blocking other people out, because what you're saying is so ignorant. It's just like, I have to like literally, I have to have them leave. I'm like, could you please leave my house? Because they're literally not listening and they just keep going.
Yeah, it's very difficult right now. And I think especially back to the one question we were talking about, what we would want older generations to know is we aren't stupid. Like, we see and we know, we have minds, and we are educated. So, and we have the internet. And they may say the internet is a bad thing, but the internet is such an amazing thing. You could look up anything, literally anything on the internet and get your answers. And I think what older generations don't understand is that we aren't just little kids anymore, because what we're going through is very difficult and we have to be educated. And that's what we've done. We've educated ourselves.
There's so much more we could go into this conversation, and I want to be sensitive to both of your time. So I want to wrap this with a question about dreams, and that's this. What is one dream you're still wanting to fulfill? in your own life?
I think I want to just be, I think as a human being, I have so much farther to go. And like, I just want to, I want to, like I was saying, I want to be successful. I want to be able to like feed my family, pay rent or buy a house. And, you know, I want my kids to say that I'm a great father. And that's pretty much the only thing, like my only dream.
Well, I'm going to push you a little bit on that. What's a crazy dream that you have? Maybe it's like, I want to play Madison Square Garden, or I want to go on tour with so-and-so. Like, give me just a crazy dream that you're just like, this would be the thing that the family thing, all that kind of stuff. Awesome. I think it's a really good dream. But what's the crazy dream that you have? Let's go with that.
All right. Okay. If my dream would be maybe to collaborate with like any rapper. Like if I could collaborate with like if I could collab with Playboy Cardi, I would probably like pass out because like literally I'm you know how like my sister loved princesses when she was like 3. That's like right now. That's how I love rappers, bro. I love rappers. Like a 3-year-old girl love princess. Like, bro, yeah.
That's the kind of thing I wanted to hear. That's awesome. I think both are very awesome. So I don't want to talk down to your first dream, but I wanted to hear that crazy dream because those are the fun things, you know.
Yeah.
How about you, Gianna?
Crazy dream. I mean, it's very possible, but it's probably not going to happen. But I want to like be a philosopher and
cool.
Be able to be like a professor. That'd be so crazy. It could happen,
Yeah.
but I don't think it will. But there are possibilities. But that's kind of like my big dream. I've like looked into it about like because I'm going to college kind of soon. So I was looking into it, and I mean, I don't think I will ever be, but that's kind of my big dream. I think it's really interesting.
Love that.
To learn about like humans and like how they think and why they believe what they believe.
Yeah, so good. I want to thank you both for taking time out. And, I think whether a person who's listening is 40 or 50 or 60 or 13, the one takeaway that I have is that you both are so inspiring. So thanks for taking time to share your story and taking a risk. You've taken a risk to build your dreams and to step out and do these things. So thanks for doing that.
Of course, this is so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love these type of interviews.
Yeah, always. These are always the best.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having us. This was truly amazing.
Once again, I want to thank Tommy and Gianna for taking time out and being on the show with us. Make sure to go check out their movie. It's really good. You can find out where you can see it by going to mightyoakthemovie.com. Those links and the trailer are in the episode notes wherever you're listening, so check them out and check out the movie. I also want to thank you for tuning into today's conversation. I hope it's inspired you to chase the dreams and ideas that you have. I think often we think, one day when I'm older, when I have everything figured out, then I'll chase my dreams and ideas. Or once we're at those end of days, we look back and say, I wish I would have. I should have stepped out. I should have taken the risk. Wherever you are on the journey of life, whether you're 12 or you're 98, it's never too late to take steps to chase those dreams and ideas. That's my challenge to you today. To get out there, to dream big, and to change the world around you.
Mettez-vous dans une tenue légère. Ôtez tout ce qui peut vous gêner ou tirer votre attention. Cherchez la meilleure position. Les bras et les jambes légèrement espacés. Étirez-vous doucement, mais complètement. En avant, en arrière, sur les côtés. vous êtes une autre personne. Les mères de famille, les enfants, peuvent également prendre un moment revitalisant. Dans quelques mois, lorsque vous aurez bien saisi la technique et que vous serez maître de votre corps, vous pourrez vous décontracter même en travaillant.